Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I have discussed about China crackdown on tech companies. Many companies have seen their share price drop quite significantly in the past few weeks. I have been accumulating Tencent shares to take advantage on the attractive share price, but unfortunately, I was a bit too early in my entries, and the stock price continued to drop after I bought. As you can see, my entry prices was at $622 and the latest purchase was at $442. These are only the stocks listed on Hong Kong Exchange and excluded the TCEHY ADR shares that I have bought before and sold. In this video, I'm going to present the investment thesis for Tencent. Hopefully, after you finish watching, you will learn something new about the company. Before I get into the main content, I just want to give a shout out to Jordan Nell from Vineyards Holdings. Most of the materials that I will present in this video is taken from the article he wrote on Tencent. It is an 86 pages article if downloaded in PDF format. I strongly recommend that you read the original document after you watch this video. I'll put the link in the description. Before we get started, appreciate the early thumbs up if you like the content. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm to push the content to others. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Baillie Gifford. Jordan mentioned that one investment fund he admired greatly is Baillie Gifford. Baillie Gifford is an investment fund based in UK with an asset under management of close to USD $500 billion. They are long-term investors with the investment philosophy focuses on growth and they invest globally. They have a good track record. As you can see here, the long-term global growth funds has a return of 26% since inception in 2014, which is more than double the MSCI ACWI index. If you have been following Tesla, you might recall Baillie Gifford is one of Tesla's largest shareholders and they stay invested during Tesla's most challenging years, which is around 2018 and 2019. They only sold half of the Tesla positions in February this year, pocketed huge sums of gains. Why are we talking about Baillie Gifford? The reason is that if we take a look at the long-term global growth fund as of 30th June 2021, among the top holdings are Chinese companies such as Tencent, Alibaba, Meituan, and Pinduoduo. So when a credible long-term investor is investing in Tencent, that gives me some confidence that Tencent is a solid company. I will not mention Katie Wood here because I think she acts more like a trader than a long-term investor, as she has exited most of her Chinese companies' investment. Please note that the top 10 positions shown is based on 30th June and most of the regulatory crackdown happened in July. So it is possible that Baillie Gifford has sold their positions too. We will find out in the next quarter. Let's come back to Tencent. What is Tencent? I think the best way to understand Tencent is to view them as an ecosystem. Tencent ecosystem includes gaming, e-commerce, music, cloud, and artificial intelligence. They are one of the largest entertainment companies in the world and use their strong cash and data generations from their core operations to fund and inform their venture capital arm. They own the widest reaching social media platforms in the world in WeChat, which along with their gaming distributions provide them with prospective advertising dominance in the future. They are also leveraging these platforms for potentially transformational growth in finance and e-commerce. WeChat. The WeChat network, also known as the operating system of China, spans work, home, retail, transport, and social life in China. To help you understand what is the meaning of operating system of China, we need an analogy or comparison against US or Western world. These are the apps that should be common to you. Messaging apps like WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, payment apps like those offered by banks, shopping apps like Amazon, taxi apps like Uber or Grab, social networks apps like Facebook and Instagram. These apps are owned and operated by different companies. However, in China, all these functions are covered by just one app, which is WeChat. They call this Super App. There are many mini programs within the Super App. A typical WeChat user engages 11 separate times per day with the app. From morning workout, checking the WeChat moments, to taking a ride via TT, socializing with friends, shopping and playing games. With over 1.2 billion people spending an average of 90 minutes on the app, Tencent is in the positions of being able to direct traffic across their infrastructure towards their other offerings and various holdings. And they are able to grow their revenues by directing the traffic. Look at the revenue growth of Tencent Holdings in the past decade. In a nutshell, Tencent leveraged their dominance of social media and gaming in creating a platform from which people can, among other things, shop online, pay for goods at physical stores, settle utility bills, split dinner tabs with friends, hail taxis, order food delivery, and book theater tickets, hospital appointments, and foreign holidays. Gaming. Figure 17 and 18 below shows a summary of Tencent gaming positions. Gaming competition in China and globally is heating up. Big competitors like ByteDance, Alibaba, and NetEase are investing heavily in gaming. To match this, Tencent have been investing heavily into gaming as well, taking more stakes in a greater number of companies and at earlier stages than usual. In terms of the market share, Tencent is dominating the market. On the operator side, they own half of the market, and on the developer side, they own around 1/3 of the market. I expect them to maintain the market share because if there's any promising game developers that pop up, they will try their best to strike a deal and invest in the company. In addition to an impressive IP base, Tencent has very strong development, operations, and publishing capabilities. Their cloud infrastructure and the ownership of distribution, marketing, and payment channels also give them a hefty moat in the gaming space. They are major shareholders in live streaming platforms Huya and Douyu and have key investments and good relationships with 8 of the world's top 10 gaming companies. One other avenue Tencent is growing is their publish and take a cut of revenues approach. They work with local and global developers who want to distribute in China, occasionally taking an equity stake in developing companies. Even with Tencent taking a cut of revenues, developers often see higher profits overall due to Tencent's hyper-effective operations, marketing, and distribution. Tencent has made an excellent investment into studios in the past. They are the largest shareholders in Activision's Blizzard, Riot Games, Bluehole, Supercell, and most importantly, Epic Games. Epic owns and licenses Unreal Engine, the software platform which, alongside competitor Unity, underpins the development of nearly every major game worldwide. In the push for global, Tencent's approach seems to be multi-pronged. 1. Increase M&A, particularly of non-controlling stakes in overseas developers, for example like Riot Games and Supercell. 2. Publish internally developed and licensed games overseas, for example like Honors of Kings. 3. License internally developed games to key partners with distributions, for example like Sea Limited. 4. License other developers' IP to develop new games for global market, for example like Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile. Media. Tencent is one of the most important media companies in the world. In online TV, Tencent competes with Alibaba's Youku and Baidu iQIYI. Youku's financials are not released, but while iQIYI showed no growth from 2019 to 2020, Tencent videos grew 22.3%. In short forms video, ByteDance owns the market with Douyin or TikTok, but Kuaishou is close second. This is an incredibly important battleground. You can see the market share here. Douyin and Kuaishou, in which Tencent has 20% stake, are the clear market leader. Music is another Tencent's dominated industry. At the market cap of 18 billion, Tencent Music Entertainment is the largest music platform in China. They are a consolidation between QQ Music, who target white-collar professionals and students, Kugou, blue collars 35 years old, and Kuwo, married, middle-aged with kids. If you think about it, all these businesses have huge value. You can just compare against US equivalent companies like Netflix, Spotify, and Snapchat. Fintech. Chinese fintech has been one of the fastest evolving industries over the last 50 years. Chinese finance is app-driven, having leapfrogged card usage with the onset of cheap mobile devices and poor previous infrastructure. Currently, the mobile payment market is basically a duopoly between Alipay and WeChat Pay. Alipay has around 56% of market shares and WeChat Pay has 39% market share. Both Tencent and Alibaba have incredibly holistic views of the consumers through their various offerings and products. This data allows them to track consumer lending, offering variable loan rates and product prices to different buyers. There are tons of opportunities in the fintech space and they are growing quickly. Cloud business. China cloud adoption is still in the very early stages. Roughly speaking, Alibaba has 40% market share in China and Huawei and Tencent are at second and third place with market share of around 16%. Tencent doesn't disclose their cloud growth beyond lumping it with the rest of fintech and business services, which grew 26% year-on-year through 2020. Qualitatively, Equal Ocean's comparisons highlight some of the differences between Ali Cloud and Tencent Cloud. Pay attention to the title. Tencent Cloud, still small but already comparable. Given that cloud business is still a fast-growing area, it is quite possible for Tencent and Huawei Cloud to eat into Alibaba market share if they are able to leverage on their respective strength and execute well. Conclusion. To summarize, in this video, I have provided a quick walkthrough of Tencent's different businesses such as social, gaming, media, fintech, and cloud business. There are so much to cover on Tencent, I think I'm only scratching the surface. Please leave a comment down below if you want me to cover more contents on Tencent. Hope you liked the video and see you in the next one. Cheers!